Hi, I'm Rebecca Balcárcel with Writers on Writing. Let's talk with poet and performer Michael Guinn. Like if you have all the technique, but then your piece doesn't really say anything, that could be a problem. So how do you put theme or message into your work? Like how important is that?
Well, you know what? Having a theme or message is central to the success of anything you write. You have to have a message. Now, if you're just playing around, that's fine. But if you want an audience to connect to a part of you, and that part of you is the message in your work, then you have to be able to be, willing to use certain techniques. Like you have to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It kind of all ties together. So the technique is very important in that, and then repetition is important in that as well. Again, it's a lot of clever line placements here. You have to be intentional about where you put this. What are you trying to say? What's the ultimate message you want the audience to have? But you have to do it where it builds and everything connects. Like the beginning connects to the middle, connects to the end. And if you do that in a very creative way, then you'll not only have that message, but that message also ends up becoming an integral part of why I would read that work.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And your work is like that. Like you have the message, but it's packaged. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's set up in such a way that the listeners, the readers are experiencing it, and it's a total experience. It's the senses, it's the sound, and then there's the punch of the message. And
Right.
so
I got lucky. I just get lucky. I have been in a couple of workshops with you and done some things with you, what I'm saying? So, and we've been in some places together. So I've had a chance, and that's another thing I would say. I've had a chance to be sharpened by being in the same place with excellent readers and writers like yourself and others. And that has to also be included. You can't just think that, you can go out there and just start writing and be at this level. You do have to be around. That old saying is iron sharpens iron. So that's even more true in creative writing. You have to be out there and see what the audience is, or what the audience likes, and also stay true to what you want to say. It's just a balance there, and you can achieve that balance by just knowing, some of the writing tenets, some of the, creative writing tools, and then knowing where to place them. Now, it's not an overnight thing. You're gonna have to practice that. That's why they call them rough drafts. Just like, and another thing I would say, in that rough draft, as we live this life, the world changes. With COVID, everything changed. That's an example of how the world changed. And as the world changed, we had to change our approach to how we got our work out there. So there was a big emphasis on Zoom and virtual stuff. So that means we had to pay even more closer attention to the detail of the writing, how we said it, to make sure that we put ourselves in an atmosphere that was clear, there was no background. All these things add context, or you can take away from how an audience receives the work. And that's as big a part of it as anything. What we as writers want to do is we want to make sure that we take away as much as possible anything that could deter the reader from either hearing the work or receiving it on page, in a way. If you got some misspellings, if you've got some things are out of place, if you did not take your time and use some of these tools, and then you didn't stay, then maybe you were trying to just write, something, and you put it out there, you really didn't take the time to edit it and go over it to see if it's something that, then you're going to lose an audience before you get them. And that's very important as well, to try and make sure we're tight on page before we take it off page.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I love that. I'm definitely doing that all the time too with my work, trying to polish it up, and use every craft thing I can pull out to get to the audience, because that's the goal. Move
Right.
them, touch them, reach
Exactly.
them.
Yeah.
And well, you certainly do that. And thank you for sharing with us. This was really great.